is the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee.
Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts is just off the coast of Cape Cod, a beautiful island just a short ferry ride from the mainland. Artists, politicians, and tourists have long flocked to this magical spot for its natural beauty and quirky charms, including a village of whimsical gingerbread cottages found in Oak Bluffs on the island's northeast side. This community, which dates back to the early 1800s, was originally built as a Methodist camp meeting ground. The campground remains a vibrant community of lovingly restored homes and an essential stop for most visitors to the island.
My name is Doris Clark, and I'm a lifelong resident of Martha's Vineyard.
Hello, Doris.
My family came here in the late 1800s, and they came from Jamaica. My great-grandfather came with a man who was a pastor to help him build a church here, and he ended up staying.
You know, I have been here dozens of times, and it just brings up such a magical feel.
Oh, there's no question. I brought you a coffee.
They're friendlier in Oak Bluffs, right? Thank you very much.
So we'll take a little walk around. Where I'm going to take you is over to the Camp Meeting Association, which is the campgrounds, and it's a Methodist camp meeting area. Back in 1835.
1835, okay.
Yes, when the Methodists first started coming to Martha's Vineyard to have their meetings, they were here for like maybe a week. And so they would put tents up around a little preacher stand.
See, this is why you always have to travel with a local. They know the inside stories.
Exactly. Now, this is a private area, and the Camp Meeting Association owns it. And the houses, you can only buy the house, you cannot buy the land.
So that Methodist meeting group still owns all this?
Yes, they do. These houses were tents back in the 1800s. People would come here in the summer to worship, and they were here for about a week. They were basically self-contained. Literally, you could live in the tent. I mean, they had family tents, they had barbershop tents, bootblack tents. In about 1860, they started phasing out the tents and building these houses, but the houses resemble the tents.
Why do they call these gingerbread homes?
Because of the fretwork that's along the gable ends.
You know, I just feel like Hansel and Gretel should be walking hand in hand here or something.
Yeah. The tabernacle is the center of the campgrounds, and that's where all the worshiping takes place. And back in 1835, when they first started, there were about 9 tents, and by the time 1868 rolled by, there were 570. 1879 is when the tabernacle was built. This is wrought iron, so the building is very good acoustically. There are houses here that are like the most famous houses, but I have a few that I like to show people that are just over here.
Well, it's funny, I'm looking, they all have different names, like this is Bittersweet.
Yes. And a
This
lot of
one's
the
the
houses
castle.
have the year they were built. This one was built in 1876. There's another one that's right over here that's called Cutie. I love this house.
When they chose to paint Cutie and the other ones, obviously you're making bold color choices. How do they choose the colors?
Well, you know what? When they went from tents to houses to distinguish their house from somebody else's, they would paint them these bright colors and have the ornate carvings. And the carvings actually mimicked the tents because they used to have tassels on the tents.
You know what? This is what it means to be Methodist. I think I'm a Methodist. You know, it's very nice.
Yeah, now
this is a nice porch, huh?
Yes, and that's the other thing. They all had these wonderful porches. The houses are real tiny, but in the summer, when the people came up and they put their chairs out on their porch, they could talk to everybody. All of these people were real good friends. If somebody made a pitcher of lemonade, you could just pass it all the way down the line. If somebody sneezes, you could hand them a tissue through the window. What I find really special about Martha's Vineyard is that it's a place where when you start coming here, you catch the fever. And the only way that you can get that fever to feel any better is to keep coming back. This is the most popular house in the campground, in that it's the most photographed house. A new family has bought this recently.
Really? Did they get a tiara with it?
They probably did. This house was built in 1864, and you'll never guess the name of the house.
Barbie.
No.
Barbie lived here?
No. It's called the Pink House, and I wonder why.
Yeah. Why the Pink House? Why is that the famous one?
Well, because I think that the owners here really go out of their way to dress this house up. In the summertime, there are little wrought iron tables and chairs on this porch, and they're shaped like a heart. This is really a great example of the gingerbread carvings all around the house, on the gable ends and the fretwork. So it's a quintessential campground house.
Doris, thank you so much for showing me around here. It's so reassuring to know that this kind of place exists, not because it's a beautiful place, but it has beautiful people like yourself that have such nice, warm hearts.
Well, it was nice that you came, and I'm glad that I could show you this.
Absolutely fantastic. So I will see you again.
Absolutely.